Can you forget the haunting images from the Passion of the Christ? This wasn't merely cinema, it was a visceral experience that seared itself into collective memory. From the raw brutality of Roman punishment to Mary's silent anguish, every moment transcended ordinary filmmaking. Yet beneath this cinematic masterpiece lies an even more captivating narrative, the real-life journeys of those who embodied these sacred and sinister characters. What became of the souls who temporarily wore the faces of ultimate good and absolute evil? How did they navigate life after portraying figures that millions worship or revile? From careers destroyed to faith discovered, from physical scars to spiritual awakenings, these aren't just Hollywood tales, they're modern parables. Stay until the end, because the final revelation about the man who became Christ will astound you. Chapter 1. Rosalinda Celentano, Dancing with Darkness. In cinema's most chilling theological moment, Satan glides through chaos, cradling a nightmarish child creature with ancient eyes. This image haunted millions, but few know the woman behind the terror. Rosalinda Celentano, an Italian actress who never imagined becoming the face of ultimate evil. Gibson's vision demanded subtlety over spectacle. No horned demon, but something seductive and profoundly disturbing. Rosalinda transformed herself completely. Shaved scalp, ghostly makeup, androgynous presence that blurred gender boundaries. Critics praised her elegant terror, but the psychological cost was devastating. Acting becomes something entirely different when you carry evil within yourself, she confessed years later. The darkness doesn't vanish when the director calls cut. It follows you home. Post-production, she described feeling spiritually hollow, emotionally drained. The malevolent presence she channeled lingered like a persistent shadow. Instead of capitalizing on international recognition, Rosalinda retreated from Hollywood entirely. She abandoned commercial pursuits for painting and poetry, seeking solace in creative expression. Friends revealed she battled severe depression during this period, a psychological storm she'd never experienced before. Finding light again became essential for survival, she admitted. The following decade brought additional health challenges, though she kept details private. Unlike co-stars who used the Passion as a Hollywood launching pad, Rosalinda chose a quieter path. Now 58, she divides her time between selective art house projects and painting in Italy. Her canvases show light breaking through darkness, visual testimony to her recovery. She's become a mental health advocate, speaking about healing from psychologically demanding roles. When questioned about the Passion, she chooses words carefully. It was magnificent and terrible. That character transformed me, forced me to examine good, evil, and parts of my nature I'd never dared explore. Her story serves as a sobering reminder that some roles demand pieces of the actor's soul. Chapter 2. Monica Bellucci, From Glamour to Grace. When Gibson announced Monica Bellucci would portray Mary Magdalene, the entertainment world erupted. Could Europe's most celebrated sex symbol convincingly become the repentant disciple? Monica embraced the challenge with surprising devotion, mastering Aramaic and Latin while stripping away every trace of her seductive persona. The transformation was startling. On set, crew watched as one of cinema's most glamorous figures disappeared, replaced by a woman whose beauty came from profound humanity rather than perfection. Her performance was almost wordless, yet every gesture conveyed redemption's weight and past mistakes' pain. Behind cameras, something unexpected happened. This role forced me to confront spiritual questions I'd been avoiding, she revealed years later. The set felt sacred, not just cinematic. Crew members observed her in contemplative silence after demanding scenes, sometimes with tears still fresh. After the film, Monica returned to European cinema with noticeable evolution, selecting complex, soulful characters over purely glamorous roles. I sought parts with souls, she explained. Beauty without depth began feeling empty. Her personal life brought upheaval, divorce from Vincent Cassel, motherhood challenges, fame's pressures, yet she credits the Passion with teaching humility. Standing within that story, you understand suffering in ways that change you fundamentally. At 60, Monica continues working, but carries newfound serenity. Rumors suggest possible involvement in the resurrection of the Christ, which would complete a transformative circle. Chapter 3. Maya Morgenstern, The Mother's Silent Suffering. Romanian actress Maya Morgenstern faced an even greater challenge, embodying the Virgin Mary. At 42, she was already respected in European theatre, but nothing prepared her for this role's spiritual weight. Her portrayal was masterful restraint, minimal dialogue carrying every mother's grief, every believer's questioned faith. As a Jewish actress playing Christianity's most sacred figure, she faced cultural controversy. Some questioned whether she could authentically portray such a central Christian figure. Maya responded with wisdom, "I wanted to show Mary as a mother. Every mother understands suffering for their child." After the film's success, Maya returned to Romania but faced unexpected challenges. Years later, she revealed receiving threats tied to her Jewish heritage, some arriving decades after the movie's release. Despite this cruel irony, portraying love's ultimate symbol while receiving hatred, she never expressed regret. She channeled experiences into humanitarian work, supporting cultural programs and advocating for interfaith understanding. Her resilience became as much testimony as her on-screen performance. At 63, Maya continues commanding respect in Romanian theatre and television. She's confirmed to reprise Mary in the upcoming Resurrection film, calling it tremendous responsibility and profound honor. For Maya, Mary became more than a role, a source of strength and bridge between heritage and broader human experience. Chapter 4. Christo Živkov, the Disciple's Final Cross. At 29, Bulgarian actor Christo Živkov embodied John the Beloved, the youngest apostle who remained at the cross during crucifixion. His portrayal radiated quiet devotion, eyes holding oceans of pain, minimal dialogue conveying maximum emotion, physical presence radiating unwavering loyalty. Off-camera, Christo possessed the same qualities: genuine humility, quiet dedication, complete disinterest in Hollywood glamour. After global recognition, instead of chasing stardom, he returned to European independent cinema, selecting projects based on personal meaning rather than commercial potential. For nearly 2 decades, Christo worked steadily but quietly, prioritizing artistic integrity over success. Those who knew him described a man carrying the same gentle strength that made his John memorable. Then tragedy struck in 2023, news that devastated fans worldwide. Christo had died at just 48 after battling lung cancer. His death sent shockwaves through the global Christian community. Social media flooded with tributes simply saying "John forever." Friends revealed that even battling illness, he maintained his gentle spirit, facing his own cross with the same quiet courage John showed at Calvary. For many fans, Christo's life mirrored John's unwavering devotion, a modern disciple who embodied portrayed values long after cameras stopped rolling. Chapter 5. Francesco De Vito, the rock who fell and rose again. Peter represents Scripture's most relatable figure, a man who swore loyalty yet denied his Lord 3 times. For Francesco De Vito, playing this role meant embodying raw human frailty. In that unforgettable denial scene, his face contorts through fear, shame, and heartbreak, a performance so real many viewers wept. After the Passion, Francesco didn't chase Hollywood stardom. He remained rooted in Italy, working steadily in historical dramas and faith-based projects. The role profoundly changed him, not into a preacher, but into someone more aware of personal contradictions. Peter represents us all, he reflected. I learned that falling is human nature, rising again is grace. Throughout his career, Francesco avoided scandal and protected his private life, maintaining integrity that mirrors his character's eventual redemption. At 58 in 2025, he continues acting and earning respect, with rumors of returning for the Resurrection sequel. Fans welcome this, seeing him as a living reminder that faith concerns perseverance, not perfection, that stumbling doesn't disqualify you from standing back up. Chapter 6. Luca Lionello, from betrayer to believer. When Luca Lionello accepted Judas's role, he was a self-proclaimed atheist viewing religion as irrelevant. Playing history's most infamous betrayer seemed like interesting character study, nothing more. He had no idea stepping into Judas's sandals would fundamentally alter his existence. Preparation required diving deep into Gospels, understanding the psychology of a man torn between love and greed. Day after day, he inhabited the mind of someone who would sell his closest friend for silver, then live with crushing guilt. During filming, the internal conflict he portrayed on screen started feeling real in his own life. The agony I was performing became actual agony, he confessed later. I found myself thinking about my own betrayals, my capacity for selfishness. By filming's end, Luca had done the unthinkable. He converted to Christianity. Through Judas, I discovered Christ, he told Italian media. Playing the betrayer taught me what I was betraying. The conversion transformed his spiritual life, but limited him professionally. Work shifted towards smaller European productions as casting directors couldn't see past his portrayal of history's most despised figure. Today, past 60, Luca remains active but with changed priorities. Fame means nothing against truth, he reflects. Rumors suggest possible resurrection appearance, a return fans would celebrate for Luca's redemption story. Chapter 7. Hristo Shopov, the judge who couldn't cleanse his conscience. Bulgarian actor Hristo Shopov embodied Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor who declared Jesus innocent yet condemned him anyway. Shopov gave Pilate chilling humanity, a man torn between politics and conscience, trapped by fear of losing power. His portrayal was masterful, showing Pilate not as a cartoon villain, but as someone recognizable, a leader who knew right from wrong, yet chose expedience over justice. The famous hand-washing scene became a symbol of moral cowardice that resonated with modern audiences. After the Passion, Shopov gained international recognition but chose to stay close to home, focusing on Eastern European cinema. Unlike some cast members whose lives spiraled, Shopov maintained stability, though he admitted the role left him questioning his own courage. What would I have done in his place? He reflected in a rare interview about the film. That uncomfortable question, the possibility that any of us might choose security over righteousness, haunted him long after filming ended. Now 63, Shopov primarily acts in Bulgaria and rarely discusses the Passion. Those close to him say the experience made him more reflective about moral compromise, an uncomfortable legacy for anyone who played the man attempting to wash away guilt with water, only to discover some stains are permanent. Chapter 8. Jim Caviezel, the man who became Christ and bore the ultimate cost. No actor from The Passion carried their role's weight beyond filming like Jim Caviezel, cast as Jesus at 33, Christ's crucifixion age. The symbolism proved prophetic. This role would break his body, reshape his soul, and nearly destroy his career. From day one, Jim knew this wouldn't be ordinary filmmaking. Gibson's brutal realism demanded everything. During scourging scenes, whips accidentally tore his flesh. The heavy wooden cross dislocated his shoulder. Hours exposed on the cross in freezing rain brought pneumonia and hypothermia. The worst moment came during crucifixion filming, when lightning literally struck him. Crew members watched his hair ignite while hanging on the cross. "I was struck by God," he declared, not hyperbole. Doctors discovered cardiac damage requiring 2 heart surgeries. Physical suffering was only the beginning. Despite The Passion earning over $600 million globally, Jim's career stalled instead of soaring. Gibson had warned, "You'll never work in this town again." The prophecy proved accurate. Jim found himself blacklisted, labeled too religious. "I lost my career for Christ," Jim states bluntly, yet never wavered. Instead of compromising, he embraced faith-aligned roles: Paul, Apostle of Christ, 2018, and Sound of Freedom, 2023, exposing child trafficking and becoming an unexpected global phenomenon. At 56, Jim isn't chasing fame but travels worldwide speaking about faith to packed audiences. His message? Courage, sacrifice, truth, values he believes Hollywood abandoned. Now 2 decades later, he's preparing to reprise Jesus in The Resurrection of the Christ. When asked if he's ready, Jim's response chills. "Yes, but I'm terrified, because that wasn't just a movie, it was real." His fear isn't theatrical. Those close to Jim know the first film left permanent scars. But for him, this isn't about acting anymore. It's about mission. "I believe God called me for this," he says. Jim's story transcends Hollywood drama. It's a modern parable. In an industry obsessed with comfort and fame, he chose suffering and conviction. It cost him everything actors dream of, yet he calls it worthwhile. For viewers, his face will always be Jesus's face. For Jim, that's both burden and blessing he'll carry forever. In conclusion, the eternal price of sacred art. From Satan's whispered temptations to Mary's silent tears, From Judas's tortured betrayal to Jesus's ultimate sacrifice, these stories transcend typical Hollywood narratives. The Passion of the Christ was never merely film, it was a spiritual earthquake shaking everyone who touched it. For audiences, the experience lasted 2 hours. For these actors, the impact continues decades later. This disparity reveals something crucial about sacred storytelling's nature and ancient truth's power to pierce modern hearts. Consider the embedded ironies. Rosalinda battled darkness after embodying evil. Monica discovered spiritual depth through portraying redemption. Maya faced hatred while representing ultimate love. Cristo lived out loyalty until death. Francesco learned grace through denial. Luca found faith through betrayal. Cristo questioned courage through compromise. Jim sacrificed his career for the cross he carried, literally and figuratively. These transformations speak to what happens when humans dare step into divine and damned shoes, becoming vessels for civilization-shaping stories. The ancient narratives prove they still possess life-changing power. What does this tell us about art, faith, and truth's price? First, that authentic storytelling aimed at revelation rather than entertainment still carries profound risk and reward. Second, these stories remind us that faith, doubt, redemption, and transformation aren't merely ancient concepts, but living realities continuing to play out. Finally, these careers serve as powerful testimony to conviction's cost in a culture rewarding compromise. Their willingness to sacrifice comfort for integrity points toward values transcending material achievement. The upcoming resurrection of the Christ promises to bring several actors full circle. For those returning, Jim as Jesus, Maya as Mary, possibly others, it represents more than professional opportunity. It's a chance to complete a spiritual journey begun over 2 decades ago. Which transformation moves you most? Jim Caviezel, who sacrificed everything for portraying Christ. Luca Lionello, who discovered faith through history's greatest betrayer. Rosalinda Tolentino, who survived embodying ultimate evil and found light. The Passion of the Christ proved that in our cynical age, millions still hunger for transcendent encounters. The actors paid various prices for participation, but their willingness to risk comfort and career for authentic storytelling created something resonating across cultures and generations. These aren't just Hollywood stories, they're modern parables about courage, sacrifice, and mysterious ways ancient truths break through contemporary barriers. They remind us that art at its highest isn't just entertainment, but revelation, making visible the invisible forces shaping human existence. Some movies fade when credits roll. The Passion of the Christ and the lives it touched prove certain stories, those daring to grapple with ultimate meaning questions, never really end. They continue working in hearts and minds long after the final frame, reshaping perspectives and challenging assumptions. The resurrection is coming in 2026. Representing the next chapter in these remarkable transformation stories. For those brave enough to return to roles that change their lives forever, it offers not just professional opportunity, but spiritual completion, a chance to finish what started on that sacred, brutal set more than 20 years ago.